With that, Pap took Huck and disappeared upriver. After a day or so, they reached a log cabin. It was very old, and it was clear that no one had used it for a long time. But it still had a strong door with a lock on it. Pap would lock Huck in and go off by himself, sometimes for days at a time.
I can't take much more of this. I don't think Pap is ever going to let me out of here by myself. When he's here, he beats me till he's too tired to lift a hand, and when he's gone, I never know when he's coming back.
Huck found a small saw buried under some junk in the cabin. He worked whenever Pap was gone, sawing away at a thin piece of log wall. Finally, he got through. He threw all the supplies he could manage out first, and then squeezed through and loaded up the canoe Pap kept on the riverbank. Before he left, he fitted the log back into the wall.
Pap will never figure out where I got to.
With less than an hour of daylight left, Huck swung out from shore and headed downriver to Jackson's Island.
I got to figure out what to do. I won't go back to Pap, and I can't go back to the widow. I'm too used to living natural to go back to being clean and neat.
And so, as Huck approached the lonely piece of rock and swamp grass known as Jackson's Island, he began the biggest adventure of his life, the trip down the Mississippi.
We've been dragging the river for 3 days now, Bill. Whoever killed that boy must have weighted him down real good before throwing him in. We might just well give up and go on home.
I guess you're right, Floyd. I knew it was bad luck to let him go off with that good-for-nothing pappy of his. Still, it's a shame we couldn't find the body. Mrs. Douglas sure wanted to give him a decent burial.
So they think I'm dead, huh? Good. That'll stop him from looking for me. I can finally do just what I want. But what do I want? I think I'll stay here one more night to play it safe, and then I'll head up north. I hear people up there ain't so all-fired interested in running a fella's life.
That night, Huck decided to explore the rest of the island.
Maybe I'll hunt up something useful for the trip.
As Huck made his way through the underbrush, he began to see a faint orangey glow flickering through the trees. He moved closer.
If there's another search party out looking for me, I'd better know about it now.
As Huck grew closer, he saw that the light came from a small campfire. There was only one man there, and he was sleeping with his back to the fire.
Oh, it's only a hobo,
he said as he turned to leave, but then the man turned over and Huck saw his face.
Why, it's Jim. It's Miss Watson's Jim.
Jim was a slave. He belonged to Miss Watson, so Huck had known him for some time. Since they both had little use for Miss Watson, they got along together very well indeed. Huck approached the fire.